All right, so my chain is a little bit loose on my S1000 here, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten it up. You can see here that it flops around pretty good, so we're gonna probably cut it down to about half of that, just to make sure it's not gonna hit the swing arm too much and just keep it where it needs to be. On the back here, I did add some painter's tape just because I did already scratch my spools here. They are made out of aluminum. There's kind of some cheaper ones. I might probably upgrade them later, but I put the painter tape there just so when I put the rear stand on, it doesn't screw anything up. So pretty easy here. If you guys haven't done this before, this is one of the more basic things you definitely want to learn how to do with your bike, just how to put it on a rear stand. You want to just set it up so that both of the spools are going to be set up basically where the opening is for on the handle of your stand, and then you're gonna basically straighten up your bike. Let me put the phone down for a second. All right, I actually needed 2 hands to do that. It is not that hard, but also isn't super easy to do one-handed. So you basically use, my left hand I use to support the bike, and then my other hand I use to basically push this side down, and that helps to lift this side up. And you basically just want to maneuver it so that both sides of the rear stand are secure on the spool. So once you got that, the bike is nice and stable, and then you can decide if you want to keep your kickstand up or not. I usually keep it down just because you never know. Sometimes when you're done, you're not thinking about it, you put it down and then you drop the bike. So sometimes it's better just keep it down, as long as you don't get in the way, don't trip over it or anything like that. So yeah, so that's the first part. We're getting the bike on the rear stand. Next, what we're gonna have to do is just pop open this bolt right here so that we loosen the wheel, and that will allow us to be able to move the wheel a little bit back, and then we can readjust the chain to give it some more tension. All right, so this is a big honkin' 34, and I got that on my impact. What I'm gonna do is break this loose. Okay, so we got to that point in the video and I realized that the spool actually is in the way of taking and breaking this nut loose. So that's what you have to do in order to adjust this. So I took it off the rear stand. I actually had this other attachment here, I guess, that I was able to switch it over to. I switched that one over to there. So now we're gonna take off the spool and we'll break loose that nut right there. This nut right here is gonna be a number 14. You're just basically gonna break that loose on both sides and just kind of spin that off. All right, so then you're gonna take a number 10 and just spin this nut right here. And when you do so, you'll see that this adjuster starts to move that way. And then as you do so, you just kind of come over here and you check how much you adjusted. So that's still a good amount. So you want to keep adjusting it a little bit more. As you're doing this, you also want to kind of spin the wheel and just check different spaces just to see, that they're all kind of adjusting the same amount. So this is a newer chain, so it's, for the most part, you can see as I turn it, it's going up a little bit more. So you're just trying to make it so that it's within the spec that you want. So it's not too tight and not too loose there. So yeah, it's not maybe a little too tight there. As you're doing it, you also want to pay attention to these tick marks, and you're going to go to the other side and kind of loosen it up as well. And what you're trying to do is just make sure that the wheel is square. So on the right side of the bike, you're gonna adjust it upward, and that will help to push this side of the adjuster backwards. And all you're trying to do is just make sure that the tick marks line up to where you want it to be. Once you have this lined up on both sides, you're going to use either the big tick marks at the bottom, or you can even use their smaller tick marks on top and basically make sure that both sides are lined up on the same amount. Once they are, you'll know that the wheel is square, and that's when you can go back and tighten up this nut right here with that 14. And then all you got to do once you have that tightened up is you can put your spool back on and then go ahead and tighten up this wheel back to torque. The torque spec for the rear wheel is going to be 92 foot-pounds or 125 Newton meters. So once you do that, that's basically it. You're done. You got your chain nice and adjusted, and that's all you got to do. So you just drop it down off your rear stand and you're good to go.